So my guy friend's been seeing this girl for a while, but he told me he doesn't want anything serious with her. And last night he tells me that he's taking her out to dinner on Valentine's Day. And I was like, what? And he was like, what? And I was like, if a guy I was seeing took me out to dinner on Valentine's Day, I would think he's like asking me to be his girlfriend. And he was like, why would you think that? And I was like, why would you think that Valentine's Day is a casual day? I can't even think of a less casual day to a girl. And he was like, no, she doesn't think that. And I was like, are you sure? Are you sure? And now I need to know if I'm just crazy for thinking this or if every other girl would think that too.
Let me say that I agree with her saying a woman who is taken out on a Valentine's date is going to read it as a more serious date. No argument on that. But let's keep this 100, ladies. If he only takes you out on the date and he doesn't say he wants a more serious commitment, well, that would make you a victim of reading too far into it. Nah, son, you can't play the sign language game when it's convenient to you ladies.
What? What are you talking about?
Okay, here's what I'm talking about. The reason you can't expect the man to be your boyfriend off a Valentine's date is the same reason a guy can't expect you to sleep with him after he pays for a dinner date. It's simple, since it's your own techniques used against you, ladies, aka it's the soft guy era. Moving on.
The way our generation dates is wild. I mean, firstly, there are a million dating apps, which is not a bad thing, because I know beautiful stories and a lot of stories where people get married off of meeting each other on a dating app. But you're basically swiping left or swiping right, depending on how much you find that person physically attractive and vice versa, right? So that's interesting to me. But people are really out here full on dating. I mean, they're on their 10th date, they're traveling together, they're having sex, they're making plans for the future, and then they get the ick about something and they're like, thank you, bye. Ghosted. We're done here. Like, we literally took Ariana Grande's song, Thank You Next. Literally. I don't like the way that you smile. Thank you, next. I don't like the way that you chew. Next. I don't like the way that you walk in little slippers. Thank you, next. Like, it's crazy because there's a million options, right? So no one is finding stability in dating. They're like, oh, wow, if we disagree on something and you're giving me the ick on this, why would I stay when I have a million other choices and a million other swipe right, swipe lefts that I can have and do?
They are dating and get the ick about something and then bye. That would be overwhelmingly women. Now, before the XX chromosome misogyny labeling squad jump all over this gorilla for that, let's be 100 up in here. There is a huge difference when a man cuts and runs from a woman who starts asking all about his financial worth than a woman who got the ick because she didn't like the guy's shoes. Sorry there, you female ick enablers, but even you have to realize that at some point, discarding a potential partner for such a small, trivial thing is quite immature.
Squeeze me? Oh, no, you did.
Another thing this queen said was, why should women look past the small icks when she has a million other choices on the apps? I could easily say a half dozen reasons why modern women shouldn't jump to the next guy so quickly, but the most important reason is body count, aka mileage. The harder you ride that carousel, the looser those meat curtains get. Not to mention, the older you get, the lower quality of an LTR becomes.
Liar! My peers, my friends are going through so much hardship in dating. And it is not just a one person issue. It's, communication goes both ways and dating goes both ways. But like, you don't think the people that are truly in happy, like, marriages didn't fight or that they don't have icks about one another? Like, I look at my relationship of 2.5 years with my partner and I think about the amount of good arguments we had to have this beautiful foundation, right? Like, there was one point where I was like, wow, we really can't see eye to eye. Like, you don't believe what I believe and this is clashing. So how do we figure out a way to meet in the middle? And there's just no more middle in dating in our generation anymore. There's no more finding the middle. And so I don't know, I just needed to rant a little bit because it's a little scary. Like, we wonder why divorce rates are super high. We wonder why the marriage rate is super low. We wonder why people aren't getting married or having children. And it's like,
no, we actually don't wonder why the divorce rate is so high. It's actually very simple. When you combine a no-fault divorce, cash payout options for women, alimony, possible child support, and a woman's fee-fees of I am not happy, you get that awesome 70% plus female-led divorce rate and the super hard carousel rides while she is finding herself. Before any fembots out there come after me, it's been proven that one of the biggest reasons women break up families is financial reasons, not the proclaimed men's fault as the fairer gender's auto cop-out attempt usually goes. The funny thing is, a good percentage of you ladies that break up your families because you found your new soulmate boo find out the hard way that statistically it's proven there is less than a 5% chance he will be around after the 10-year mark. But hey, putting your ex-husband and children through the Hades of divorce and financial ruin was totally worth it because your feels were sure about it. Moving on.
The dating game just sucks these days. It's hard to find someone that's actually compatible with you and doesn't want to play games. You're swiping on the apps, and if you do want to date with someone, they never look like they actually do in their profile picture, so it's like you feel like you're being scammed. No one has a personality, and then no one wants to be in a relationship. It's always like hookup culture, or you feel awkward asking, do you want a relationship, because it's like weird. You don't feel like you are being spoiled. You don't feel like someone's trying to like win you. It's just like you think and probably know that they're dating like 16 other people at the same time, and so there's so much competition, but then no one wants to be locked down. It's weird. And I'm saying this from experience, okay? Like, I have a boyfriend right now, and I want to bring up an idea. Think about how the dating game used to be many, many years ago, right? Like, I know my grandma and papa literally met in an ice cream parlor, and my papa walked up to my grandma and had a conversation. She always tells us the story with so much detail, like how she was so happy that he walked up to her and she gave him a hard time, and he kept trying to win her back, and then he became really good friends with my grandma's mom, so that the mom would be like, you should go hang out with that boy more often, like he seems very nice. And so he won over the family before he even won over my grandma, and my grandma still gave him a hard time. And it's just like a cute story between them. I know it's kind of like she's playing hard to get.
Oh boy, here we go again. Women created the modern dating culture, and now they once more complain about it. Don't look at men, ladies. This is your Frankenstein's monster. The funny thing is, her complaints are far more common with things that women do than men. As she said, they never look like they actually do in their profile picture. Yeah, all those men wearing 5 pounds of fake-up with a filter on top are the worst, aren't they, ladies? She also said, no one has a personality. You mean like when men are expected to make the first move and carry the conversation? Right. But when she claims you don't feel like you are being spoiled and they are dating 16 other people, yeah, that's what happens when you queens always swipe on the same guys. It's not your sausage, it's just your turn. And sweetie, comparing yourself with your grandma is a hoot. Oh, let me guess. She probably wants the same level of attention and treatment her granny got. One question though, are you untouched and pure to demand traditional treatment?
Now that's a lot of damage!
Hey, I'm just pointing out the obvious here and asking a real world question. It's freaking hilarious how these modern day liberated women want to pick and choose when they get traditional treatment. This ain't Burger King, honey. You can't have it your way.
But she doesn't like to say this, but she also did say that she liked him too. So it was kind of like a fun way to finally date someone. The point is though, they didn't meet on a dating app, right? My grandma and papa, they're like 80 years old, okay? I love them to death, they're awesome. But they met because they were out in public and had a normal conversation, right? And my papa pursued my grandma. He went out of his way to pursue my grandma. So what if you did that to someone in the present day, 2024? You walk up to someone and you think is attractive and you start to have a conversation with them and you try to pursue them. And I don't care what gender you are. Like girls, you can walk up to guys that you think are cute and like vice versa. But if you were the only person that walked up to someone in the day and said, I think, I like the way you look, or can I buy you like a meal or like something like that, they are going to remember you 100%, because I guarantee no one else is walking up to them and saying, I like the way you look, can I buy you dinner or something like that. Like that, there's no way. Because I guarantee, like when I met my boyfriend, he was the only person that walked up to me that entire day to say hello and start a conversation, okay? Obviously, like, there were other days where people walk up to me, or like I would walk up to other people, but it never like was a good vibe, which is fine. Like, that's part of dating. You just talk to random people until you find a good match.
Really, Queen? Guy or girl? It doesn't matter? Who are you trying to kid here?
Come on now, dawg. Come on, man.
She is describing cold approach. Women rarely do that unless the guy is a giga chad. And the part of offer to pay a meal, sure, women are going to do that. Men don't do cold approach as often anymore, but still the vast majority of cold approach that is done currently is done by men. Her current boyfriend did cold approach. That's awesome. But the vast majority of men who are attractive enough or have enough game to be successful at it will just do an alternate version on the apps. Look at the advantages modern queens have given these players. Firstly, the apps increase their reach from the immediate area to a 30-mile radius. Another edge is women on those apps are looking for a man, so he doesn't have to go in with uncertainty if she is or is not in a relationship. Another plus is he's going to know his real pool of competition is rather small. Like I said, you ladies created this dating app culture. Asking men to give this up is literally asking them to give up the tools you gave them.
How about new?
Here's a crazy idea. Why don't all of you women swipe right on the guys at your SMV level, and the chances of you getting a relationship may just go up?
No.
But because he was the only person that walked up to me, he was the only person on my mind, and it was exciting. I know everyone's complaining about, like, you know, dating's dead, like, it's terrible these days, like, no one even tries. Well, what if you actually did try? Because if you tried, then the person that you're trying to pursue would 100%, number one, remember you, number two, appreciate that you're trying to pursue them, and be excited. And then you have a really, really, really good chance of winning them. Does that make sense? So try to be that one person that makes someone's day and do something out of the ordinary. Like, do something that's uncomfortable, because the more uncomfortable it is for you, you have a much better shot of the other person not experiencing that same thing in the day, right? Like, if you walk up to someone and say, hey, what's up? Like, I like the way you look. Let's go out for dinner. They probably did not have anyone say that to them at all in the same day. You have zero competition that way, right? Like, there is no one that they are texting that can say that, because you're the only person that actually walked up to them in person. Does that make sense? Anyway, if you're looking for pickup lines, I made other videos on this, but you can easily just say hello, wave your hand, say hello. That's what my boyfriend did to me. And then small talk. You just small talk, and you just see if there is a vibe, if they're interested in what you're saying, okay? I hope this helps.
It's exciting. Those were the key words there. It's all about me, fifis. And that is something the bad boys know all about. Stirring up them feels is the quickest way to crack her taco. Now, ladies, I'm going to point out the obvious as to why many men don't do cold approach as much as before. And that is because of women like the one in this video.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Let me explain that a little better. Way back before women had cameras in their phones and video shaming platforms, men would do cold approach knowing that if they came off as weird or goofy because of their inexperience, they didn't have to worry about some entitled princess recording them and putting them on blast on the internet as a creep or a weirdo. Too many of you queens put out your business online on video shaming platforms, and men will prefer not to expose themselves at that much. Her point of less competition does not tip the scales when it comes to real-world female shaming and cancel culture. I find it amazing how women like this one try to chastise men through a form of her giving advice without even considering the extra hurdles men have to go through in modern dating. Nah. Screw that, fam. Let those women invite you out, pay for your dinner, and open your doors. Oh, you ladies thought that sounded dumb because no woman is going to do that? Now you know how dumb this queen's advice sounds.
Game over, man. It's game over.
I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund. Or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.